Hello and welcome to the Kessel Rundown Podcast. My name is Hunter,
I'm Ethan.
and today we have a plethora of news to talk about. It's a lot, and I'm excited to talk about it. What about you, Ethan?
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped. We've got just a whole bunch of news that kind of just dropped last night and today, and
Mm-hmm.
some pictures as well, which we're really excited to go over. Um, yeah, big day. Kenobi doesn't come out for another couple weeks, but we're getting closer.
Yeah, that's true. It comes out next week, I believe. It's crazy. It's coming up fast.
Oh wow, yeah, a week from Friday. So
Yeah.
we're recording this Tuesday the 17th. So a week from this coming Friday the 20th. So that's wow, that's coming up fast. I was actually on Disney Plus today, just looking around. I was on my lunch break, thinking, maybe I'll watch some Rebels or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to go look in the coming soon section, and they had the Kenobi poster and the little synopsis. Didn't learn anything new. It just says, Kenobi goes on a dangerous mission or whatever.
Oh, that's
Um,
exciting.
but it was pretty neat to just see it there. It's kind of when the movie posters first start coming out, like when you go to the movies.
Yeah, then
It's
you get
real,
you get all hyped from it. Yeah, it's not just
Yeah.
something that you're looking forward to. Also, just a heads up. If there was a intro to this podcast, awesome. If not, that's okay. So at the moment, I just commissioned someone to create an intro for this podcast, and supposedly it's going to be ready Wednesday morning. This podcast will probably be releasing on YouTube and Spotify Wednesday morning. So if it has the intro attached to it, that's awesome. I hope it sounds really good because I have no idea what it's going to sound like, nor does
Yeah.
Ethan. So if there
Yeah.
isn't any audio attached to it, that's fine. Next podcast, you'll hear it in all of its glory.
Yeah, we're really excited to try and you know make this thing a little bit more refined as we go. This is our
Hmm.
sixth episode, I think, probably like our eighth time recording, but our sixth one that we're actually capturing. Um, so we're just trying to hone our craft a little bit, make things more clean. As you can probably hear Monty Python on behind me in the background. Ironically, my roommate's watching it. But yeah, we're really excited to keep improving. And I told Grace, my fiance, about this actually today. We were in the car, and I was like, "Did you know Hunter commissioned this song to be made?" And then I played the songs that we're trying to base it off,
Hmm.
uh, which is really exciting. And she was over the moon about it. So we're really excited. Yeah, whether that's this week or later in the week or next week, whenever we pod next.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it. Uh, I won't describe what the songs were that I asked the dude to kind of mix together. It'll be a surprise. Also, before we get into the news, I have some news. So behind me, I have a little green friend. Today, I went to Goodwill. I was searching around, and I saw this bust of an alien head, but it's covered in like green velvet. I'll probably include a picture, just so like
Oh, it's
we have a
so weird.
descriptor. But I had to buy
It's
it, so I
creepy.
bought it. Yeah, it's very creepy, and I swear every time I turn around, it's facing me. So
It's
you
like it's
know,
like that portrait in at the beginning of Half Blood Prince in the book
oh,
when the prime minister, the Muggle
hmm,
prime minister, has the portrait on the wall that keeps sneezing, and he has
hmm.
to convince himself that he's going crazy.
That's
It's watching you out of the corner of its eye.
if it sneezes, we're done. We're done. Oh, also, if any audio mishaps happen, it's the alien. It's not us. Don't know what to
That's
name
right.
him yet.
It's Baby Greedo. Maybe we can name him Baby Greedo.
Baby Greedo. That's great.
Yeah, do you want to jump into the news? We got a huge news dump this morning. Just kind of
Yeah,
out of nowhere, about 7 in the morning.
yeah. I was awoken to some Twitter notifications from Vanity Fair. But before we do that, I'm just going to do a quick rundown of each of the new news articles that we're going to be talking about today. In no order whatsoever, we're going to be going over the Jedi Fallen Order sequel, Mandalorian season 3 release window, the Ahsoka release window, the Endor release window, Taika Waititi's new Star Wars film, John Watts' new Star Wars series, Ryan Johnson's trilogy. We're going to have an update on that. More details on the Acolyte series for Disney Plus and the Vanity Fair pictures that dropped today. And I believe we can just start with Mandalorian Season 3. The release window
Yep.
was confirmed. It's coming either late 2022 or early 2023, possibly the same time frame that the Book of Boba Fett was released with. I think that's good. It's really close, honestly.
Yeah, similar window to what they've done the past. Season 1 was mid-November 2019, and it went all the way until just before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, you're gonna have to remind me. I think it was also later
It
in the
was.
year,
It
like Christmas
started.
time.
It started Halloween. I remember
Okay,
that because I had in that time frame I had COVID, so I was the whole entire day I had nothing to do but wait for that to drop, and
right.
oh boy, I waited.
Yeah, so Disney, I think, is trying to plan out, not overloading the consumer
Mm-hmm.
with content here, like following up this big summer they're about to have. So
No,
I like the
definitely.
idea that we're gonna have to wait a little bit, like a Christmas treat or Valentine's Day treat or something.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this release. So we also have some more news about Andor, Obi-Wan. I guess we'll just go into Obi-Wan because there's surprisingly there's not a lot of news leading up to the release next week. But in the Vanity Fair issue, Ewan McGregor confirmed that his girlfriend, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, will be playing a character in Ahsoka. She's very famous. She's been in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, um, Birds of Prey, I think, most recently, which is a DC film. Can't really remember what else she's been in, but she's been in a
I
lot.
thought you were gonna announce that she was pregnant. I was like, oh, congratulations.
Oh yeah, hello
Uh,
there. But no, it's
hello there.
cool because the I believe Ewan's kids, so like they have both parents in Star Wars now. Like that's a dream for a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I don't.
insane.
As growing up, I don't know if my dad even liked Star Wars, but it would have been cool to see him playing a part. Um, yeah, I think I don't know. I like that companies and like movie productions are starting to do this because they pull 1,000 extras off the street for everything nowadays,
Exactly.
and why not make it more meaningful? Like we talked about last episode with the cameos,
Mm.
like the Daniel Craig cameo and Force Awakens and stuff like that. Like Fleas is gonna be
I'm so excited
in an
for that.
upcoming Star Wars thing, so it's why
So
not?
excited
Why
for
not do
that.
it? Drive fam and get if that gets 10 more fans that are only gonna watch because they love the Chili Peppers, like why not?
And that's to more people that have watched Star Wars. I know. I love the inclusion of all these people. So I believe that the juiciest bit of information is going to be about Andor. We got a huge dump on all this Andor information. We got we got pictures, and
Give it to me.
one was please give it to me. One was of Diego Luna's Cassian Andor, and the other one was I think her name is uh Genevieve O'Reilly. She played Mon Mothma in the prequels, and she is playing Mon Mothma in the series, and she looks awesome. I don't know if you've seen the pictures yet, but she looks absolutely
I have
amazing.
not.
Yeah, I will send them to you, and if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the pictures up right now. Yeah, it's insane. So in the background, they use the same set they shot The Mandalorian on. It's called The Volume. A lot of movies are filming a lot of their scenes with The Volume. So what it is, it's a big screen that paints a picture. I don't know the technology behind it, so I'm going to sound really stupid describing all of this, but it paints a scene that's almost lifelike. It looks like they're outside. It looks like they're on set, but in reality, they're inside of the studio filming this. Like most of the Mandalorian season 1 and 2 was filmed inside instead of outside, and you can never tell just based off the scenes. So yeah, they're on this set, and It has the pictures of Ahsoka, Pedro Pascal's Mandalorian, Cassian Andor, Mon Mothma, Obi-Wan, Reva, and Darth Vader. I'll send those pictures will be up right now. But it's a really cool set, really cool screen. We get to see all these characters right now. And also we have more details about Andor. So coming from Diego Luna himself, he said that it's the journey of a migrant. That's what the series is going to be about, or at least the first season, because there are 3 seasons planned for Andor. And it's just like the first season, he says he's going to be lost, cynical, and kind of a mess. We're going to see how he really ends up with the rebellion and ultimately why he sacrifices himself for it. We're going to see a huge character arc. And I'm really excited to see that. And also, Mon Mothma, she's returning, and her story is going to run parallel with Andor's. And we'll see her rise to power in the rebellion and kind of, because she was a senator, kind of, straying away from the Senate and becoming a rebellion figurehead and leader. And we'll see that through this series as well. And it drops late summer, so I'm thinking around August or September time. It's a lot of
Yeah,
information, yeah.
I think we're both pumped for the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little mysterious, It's a little even with the synopsis you provided. It's still like, well, we know Andor dies in Rogue One, so
Yeah,
is this going to feel pointless? Is this going to feel like, why are we here?
yeah,
Sometimes Rogue One felt like that, but honestly, Rogue One worked as a movie because the stakes were a little bit lower. You could just sit back and enjoy like how beautiful the movie was, and it
mm-hmm.
still worked emotionally, even though you knew those characters were about to die
Yeah, that
the
is
whole time.
still my favorite Disney Star Wars film.
Yeah, I think that's safe. Solo might be mine.
Oh,
I
Solo's
love
up
Solo.
there. Solo's number 2.
I don't know. Force Awakens is pretty nice, but
Ooh.
so looking at this Star Wars TV Rebellion, Star Wars' TV Rebellion. That's what the cover story is
Mm-hmm.
from the Vanity
The
Fair
Vanity
article that came
Fair,
out today.
yeah.
It has Pedro Pascal posted up, looking great with that mustache.
Mm-hmm.
And then Diego Luna, I just completely did not connect. He and Pedro Pascal are both in Narcos.
They are.
And, obviously Narcos Mexico is Diego Luna plays, what is his name?
I didn't watch that season. I only watched the ones, the earlier seasons.
Yeah, I watched the Colombia one. Miguel Felix Gallardo, I think that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo. It's a long name, but he's it's basically like how the drug war started in Mexico. It does connect to the Colombian series, but Pedro Pascal isn't in that. But it is still cool that they worked on the same project basically, and now they're both in Star Wars. And now they're kind of carrying the load of this franchise just like they did for Narcos. So it's really cool, and honestly cool that Star Wars, like, quite honestly, has not always been the most diverse place.
I was just about
And
to talk about
here,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and here we have, like, just on the cover, like, Rosario Dawson, who believe is biracial,
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal and Diego Luna,
And Reva.
who are, and Reva, yeah, that's right, and then throwing Ewan McGregor in there for good measure.
Yeah.
He's European, I guess, but
Yeah.
but yeah,
A mix of everything.
so yeah, so it's just cool to have humanity a little bit better represented in Star Wars than it was in the 70s and the 80s. So
Mm-hmm. And I think it's really funny that the face of Star Wars now is a character whose face we never see. It's really awesome. It's really awesome. And
bars.
yeah, looking at this Vanity Fair article, I'm kind of wondering why he has his helmet off for every single shot. And that may be like a direction that they're gonna go in for the next season of The Mandalorian. Seeing how
Maybe
how he left his clan in the Book of Boba Fett.
it
I'm
could also
down to
just
see more
be
Pedro.
Pedro Pascal is like
Very
good looking
handsome.
dude, and
Yeah.
they wanted to take advantage of that, and not be like Pedro Pascal in a helmet.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool.
That's true.
Yeah. So
That's true.
I don't know. I definitely do think we'll see him without his helmet on a little bit more.
Mhm.
Just like what season 1 we got basically 2 clips of him with his helmet off.
Yeah.
1? maybe. What
No, it was one. It was
the
whenever
episode?
IG 11 or IG 88, whatever the droid was, whenever he saved his life.
Right. And then in season 2, we get at least 2, maybe 3, because we get the one with him and Miggs Mayfield in the
We get two.
in
Yeah.
the in the blowing up the mess hall.
Yeah.
And then we get
Great scene.
the one at the very end. So
Yeah. So maybe we'll
maybe
get
we'll get
more.
3 plus.
Yeah, and
in
also
season 3.
let's hope. Also, this probably doesn't mean anything at all, but on June 1st, a new Lego set's dropping. It's going to be the Mandalorians in one Naboo starfighter, and the Mandalorian Lego figure in the sets before this one. If you took his helmet off, it was just like a black face, like just completely black, not like blackface. My bad. Um, but
No,
but
we know what you
yeah.
mean.
Yeah, but this character is an actual like detailed face. It looks like Pedro Pascal. So maybe I don't know, maybe that's just a shoot of like the new Mandalorian Lego sets in the future are gonna have his actual face, and that might be because his face is gonna be shown more. Who knows? But I'm excited to see more Pedro. He is slated to be in a lot of projects that I'm excited for, most notably The Last of Us on HBO. Have you heard anything about that, or do you know anything about that?
No, I've seen the trailer for the movie that he's in, the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Is that what it's
Mm-hmm.
called? I've seen that
That looks
trailer, but I have
fun.
not seen the other one you're talking about.
Yeah, so not to deviate too far from Star Wars, but The Last of Us was a PlayStation game, and most recently, The Last of Us 2 came out, and I think it was like voted best game of like the past decade, which I completely agree. And he plays the main character in the show's adaptation. I'm excited to see it. Like I said, I'm just excited to see more of his face. He's a great actor, and the emotion he can portray through his Mandalorian helmet is amazing. So I like him being the front and the star of modern Star Wars right now, other than Ewan McGregor.
Right. Yeah, and Ewan is a kind of a callback to
Mm-hmm.
the old Star Wars and bringing it together with the new, but um, Pedro Pascal, is completely new, and I think it's really cool that Disney is so confident in their product that they're staking their reputation and their
Mm-hmm.
popularity on a character, as you said earlier, where we never see his face. Like, think about how
Yeah.
crazy that is. And that probably did contribute to some of the problems people had connecting with him the first season.
Yeah.
Um, but hopefully we'll be able to see more Pedro without the helmet in the next
Mhm.
season and going forward. Just as like I just hope he leaves the freaking clan behind. Um,
Oh,
it would literally just be him and the armorer. Like, why does it matter?
and Paz
Um,
Vizsla, that huge dude who's just
I thought,
angry all the
yeah,
time.
I forgot he didn't kill him. Yeah,
No, it's yeah, he's still hanging out. So we'll see where that goes. But going
just John
on,
Favreau in a fat suit.
what if John Favreau just shows up without the armor?
Yeah,
And
and he's
I
like,
would
yeah, you
like
can take
that.
your helmet off, bro.
Yeah, we had some changes when you were gone.
It's like
Speaking,
Aunt May is gone. I've lost my will to live.
oh man, don't bring up that. That's a sad scene. But anyways, we're gonna move on to Ahsoka. Not too much to talk about here. We just got a release window. It's gonna be 2023. I kind of expected that, given that Star Wars tweeted that they just started production, and production is usually about a year because after the casting's done, after the filming's done, post production, editing, trailers, promotion, that's about a year from now. So I'm expecting Ahsoka around May 4th, probably, maybe late summer, and I still have no clue what this is going to be about. I'm super excited to hear anything about it though. We'll
The
probably get
Ahsoka
more
show.
celebration, yeah. And next
Yeah,
week we'll probably get so much.
I think it's safe to assume it's probably about Ezra and Grand
Hmm.
Admiral Thrawn, and maybe Ahsoka learning that Ezra isn't dead and trying to find him, and
Definitely.
um, maybe Thrawn shows up as this like looming villain, and then like halfway through the season really shows up, and I don't know. We'll have to see, but I would bet a lot of money that that is what it's going to be focused on.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Thrawn as Thanos kind of like the Star Wars cinematic universe. He's gonna be the Thanos villain that kind of connects all the
Why
shows.
are you just saying that because he's blue?
I'm sorry.
Huh?
I swear I'm not colorist or
I
anything.
find that insulting.
Sorry, sorry. I apologize to the Chiss race. I deeply apologize.
Is that Thrawn or Thanos?
um, that's Thrawn. Thanos is freaking. He's a deviant. I don't even know what he is though. He's something though.
Deviant.
Yeah, he's devious. He's up to some
He's a heathen.
he's up to some devious acts.
He's just
So
a purple
moving
guy.
on, just a
Yeah.
purple guy making his way in the universe. Moving on from Ahsoka, we're gonna get in some. I'm very excited about the Acolyte. Uh, we still don't really know much, but we got a few bite-sized pieces. We know when it's going to be taking place. It's going to be set 100 years before the Phantom Menace at the tail end of the High Republic era. Before that was confirmed, it was just speculation. People were thinking, oh, it's going to be like 50 years for the Phantom Menace, or it's going to be like 200 years before. But no, it's going to be 100 years before. And that's a little bit before Count Dooku's time. So we might see at the tail end of the series, we might see Count Dooku, but I'm not really like thinking about that. I doubt they'll dive into that. But describing this time period, Vanity Fair says that the series is going to be a mystery thriller set in a prosperous and peaceful time in the galaxy. The Jedi, we'll see more about the Jedi. They weren't always monk-like figures living selflessly. They were kind of like celebrities. They always wore gold and white and never got into skirmishes or never got their stuff dirty because it was peaceful. They never had to. They were just public figures. So we're probably going to see some Jedi be kind of a part of my language, but dicks in this. And it's really cool because the Acolyte is going to be the first series that the main lead is going to be a Sith. And if that doesn't like catch like your attention, I don't know what will.
So who is that? Do we know?
Oh, we have no clue yet. We don't have any
Okay.
casting for this yet. They're currently doing casting calls right now, but I mean, I can see this being led into Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis could have a role in this show.
I hope so, bro. That'd be so awesome. We've talked at length on this podcast about the James Luceno Legends book, the Darth Plagueis book, but that's like unbelievable story that I hope gets incorporated at some point. Um, you mind if I just read this? I'm reading the this is the showrunner for the Acolyte series.
Yeah, go ahead.
Leslie, how do you pronounce her name? Leslie Headland. I think this is quoted from the Vanity Fair article, although I'm on Collider, not Vanity Fair, but she said, "My question when watching The Phantom Menace was always, well, how did things get to this point? How did we get to the point where a Sith Lord can infiltrate the Senate and none of the Jedi pick up on it? What went wrong, and what are the scenarios that led us to this moment?"
That's interesting.
We're taking a look at the political and personal and spiritual things that came up in a time period that we don't know much about. So, yeah, about a century before a Phantom Menace, maybe. I'm excited about just I I love the political stuff in Star Wars. I know I'm
Oh man,
probably
me too.
alone in that, but
No,
like,
you're not. It's just me and you.
man. So yeah, it's just us. Some of the political structure that that George Lucas invented for the prequel stories, even though the way that he fleshed them out was a little bit
It
just
could have
he just
been
kind of
worked on a
bungled
little
it a
bit.
little bit. It could have been better.
Yeah.
But man, I love the idea of you've got this republic full of all these, like, it's almost like Congress with all the states, except there's thousands of states with all they aren't even human beings. There's like totally different civilizations. So I would just love to see like an in-depth look at that and how Plagueis and Palpatine, maybe they're in the show, but how they corrupted that, or at least how it was ripe for corruption. And maybe, like you said, like the Jedi getting a little bit too big for their
Hmm.
britches, as my grandma would say.
And we'll see how
Um,
Mace Windu gets that ego of his.
oh gosh, yeah. If he shows up, turning it off. No,
Yeah.
he won't. I mean, this is way before his time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm excited.
We'll see his grandfather,
I'm
Waste Mindu.
that was
God, I hope
a
not.
C
That's just
minus.
that
Um,
was that's being generous.
I don't know who play Samuel L. Jackson's grandpa. Samuel L. Jackson now? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that would
uh,
be something.
so no release date set for that. They're casting,
Yeah,
right?
no release date. Probably expected late 2023 or early 2024, or just 2024 at this point. But let's talk about Grammar Rodeo. Grammar Rodeo is probably the most mysterious thing that's been announced. That's the working title. Of course, that's not going to be the title for the main show, but this show is going to be directed by John Watts, who you probably know directed Spider-Man: Homecoming, Spider-Man: Far From Home, and Spider-Man Far From No Way Home. Yeah, I get those mixed up all the time. So he directed those. He's going to be directing this
Yeah,
series set
it's
on Disney Plus, and it's going to follow a group of children. And it's been described like the Goonies in space.
oh no.
Yeah, I've seen the Goonies in space and Stranger Things in space. I'm kind of excited for it because we're gonna follow a group of kids that will
Right.
grow up with the series, kind of like Stranger Things is doing right now. And if you've seen any trailer for the new season, those kids grew up, and like you can expect the same thing for the Star Wars series, which I'm all for. I'm all for. It's not my cup of tea, but I think the more I watch it, the more I'll get accustomed to it. What about you?
Yeah. Um, I'll say right now, not as excited about it,
Hmm.
but
Totally
it's
fair.
Star Wars. We're gonna
Yeah.
watch it. So,
Yeah.
and if it's a TV series, it's easily digestible. I can decide on a week to week basis if I like the direction, and I don't have to go commit 2.5 hours with big
Hmm.
expectations, in a movie theater.
Definitely.
That helps. I think TV shows are a little bit easier to sneak by mediocre content if that's what your show is.
That's true.
Boba Fett. So so
Like a bantha.
I think it'll be fun. I don't it depends on who the kids are. If they're total strangers,
Hmm.
maybe a little bit less interesting. If they're like
Well,
an
yeah.
alternate, if Disney's really trying to go MCU, they could do like a what if um with Luke getting married and having kids or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's those kids' adventures and like a
Or it can
kind
be
of
like
a
a clone of Luke. They used the DNA of his severed hand. They created a clone of Luke, and it's a kid. I don't know. Something that'd be a fun story. But yeah, it would
somehow
be a
Luke
cool
is a
what if.
clone.
So yeah,
Yeah,
they actually in Legends, Luke does have a clone, and his name is Luke.
yeah, you've told me that. That's
Yeah, with
ridiculous.
two U's.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he was made with his severed
Luke.
hands. Yeah, Luke. So speaking of severed hands, that's not a good transition. Either way, Ryan Johnson's trilogy has been put on the back burner. I don't really know how
How
it's going to
is that?
connect. I tried to
Oh,
set it up and realized there was no connection whatsoever. So I kind of just, let it go halfway through.
because he
But,
got cut off from the sequel trilogy,
oh
just like
shit.
his severed
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah,
Got
his
him.
knives were out. Boom. There it is.
Okay, just keep going with the news.
Yeah. I'm sorry if you hear a door uh, being kicked open. This cat that I'm cat sitting keeps opening it like they own the place. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry about this.
So Ryan Johnson,
Yeah.
whose trilogy you say it's on the back burner, it feels like it's been on the back burner for a while.
For 5 years now. Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, it feels like it's been
Yeah,
on the back burner since people watched The Last Jedi
that's very
and
true.
decided we may not want this guy to direct many more stuff, much more movies for us.
But this
And I think
proves that it's still alive, though. So there's still a chance at something happening.
yeah, yeah. And sometimes this stuff just kind of ebbs and flows and then it disappears. Like David Benioff and DB Weiss, remember the guys
Oh
that
yeah.
created Game of Thrones? They've had several HBO shows that were green lighted and then put on the back burner and then never talked about. And then like a year later, they're like, we're not doing this anymore.
Well, they were
Um,
supposed to direct a Star Wars movie, and then season 8
right,
happened, and they
right,
were not allowed to direct a Star Wars movie anymore.
right. Yep. Yeah. They just kind of forgot about the fleet, you know. So
Danny kind of
that's what
forgot
happens.
about the Iron Fleet. What a
Yeah.
meme that is, man. I still quote that to this day. Like Danny kind of forgot. It's ridiculous. Oh, it's ridiculous. But yeah, it's on the back burner. I think Ryan Johnson, he can make an amazing trilogy, just not in the Skywalker saga. Something kind of
Yeah.
like Rogue One, but split into 3 movies or something like that. I think he's a really good director. Like Knives Out was fantastic, and I can't wait for Knives Out 2 to come out. It's just it
I'm not
wasn't
sure if I
fit in
see
Star
I'm not
Wars.
sure if I see the need for a trilogy at this point. Like
True.
we have 11 Star Wars films. We have,
Hmm.
by the looks of it, 5 more scheduled over the next decade, not to
Hmm.
mention the 4 or 5 shows that are coming out. Like,
That's true.
man, I'm not sure if I see the need for a trilogy. I could go for a connecting movie if they're trying to connect to the 4th trilogy that they're going to do in 2035 or something.
I
But like,
can't wait for that.
I
Yeah.
well, I hope to God J.J. Abrams is nowhere near it if they do. Um, but
Jar
I
Jar
just,
Abrams.
yeah, I'm just not sure if I'm down for 3 movies about something totally unconnected to the present story. Um, does that make sense? Because
Yeah, I
like
respect that.
I could like a solo, but no pun intended, like a solo movie, a one-off movie is fine if it's not connected. Like Mandalorian, if Mandalorian was a movie and there's no connection to the original trilogy, if you're just following Din Djarin on his missions, that'd be kind of cool. But I wouldn't want 3 of those. I'd rather have it a TV show, which they're doing. So I'm just a little
Mm,
confused about their strategy with this trilogy and the John Watts. Well, I guess John Watts TV show, but it's just kind of
yeah,
they're definitely planning big picture here.
that's true.
It seems like it's a decade plan.
I just had a thought though. So this John Watts show is going to be taking place, Return of the Jedi, post Return of the Jedi, which was also when the Mandalorian takes place with Grogu. So we
Okay.
could be seeing the formation of Luke's Jedi Academy, and these kids are going to
Ooh.
be the first kids in the academy, as we saw Grogu kind of like test run. This might be the future of Star Wars, the new generation
Okay.
of Star Wars, which I has to be more excited about. But now that I say it, it's probably not what's going to happen.
Well,
We'll
we'll
see.
see. I that does sound kind of that sounds better. As long as they, gosh, man, they're gonna have to find some way to incorporate the sequels with what happened with Ben
Yeah,
and everything and like
or just
that.
retcon it.
Yeah, yeah. It's seeming like a more and more short-sighted move. Ryan Johnson's decisions with the storytelling there. I
Yeah,
loved it in Last Jedi. Like I love that storyline of Ben and the temple coming down. But now they're trying to make more content out of that time frame, and they're just gonna have to dance around to a retcon it.
hmm I'm
So
excited to see how they do it. Very excited to see how they do it. Well, since we talked
that's
about
that's
Ryan
that's the
Johnson's,
that's the spirit of all sequel related content. I'm excited to see how they retcon it.
yeah, let's see how they mess this up again. All right. Well, talking about one failed trilogy, our failed Star Wars movie, let's go on to a new Star Wars movie. So, Vanity Fair confirmed that the next Star Wars movie to release will be directed by Taika Waititi, and the
Let's
time
go.
frame, I know, yeah, it's awesome. The time frame though is December 2023. So this is when Rogue Squadron, directed by Patty Jenkins, who directed Wonder Woman and all that. This is when Rogue Squadron was going to come out, but there were problems, and Rogue Squadron is now on a definite hiatus. And it
Yeah.
seems that this untitled Taika Waititi Star Wars film is going to be replacing that time slot. We might
Yeah,
have
it
some
feel
confirmation that it's going to be pushed back because there's really nothing said about it right now. But who knows? We might get a huge thing, a celebration about this film.
yeah, whatever is behind the back burner, that is where the Rogue Squadron sits. It's like there's your front burners in your stove, there's like a back burner, then there's like the backsplash. It's like hidden in the wall behind the oven. It's like
It fell in
probably not
between.
going to get it at this point. Yeah. Um we'll see, but
Hold
I'm
out hope.
definitely, I love Taika Waititi. Um Taika might be busy making, the 12th Thor movie. I don't know, but hopefully
And it's still
hopefully they
going to be
find
good.
time to. Yeah, yeah. uh oh, what if we got like a crossover? What's the rock guy's name?
Korg.
Starts with a K. Korg.
Korg. Yeah.
What if we get like Korg as like a stormtrooper? That'd be so fun.
Hey guys,
uh
dude,
yeah.
his voice is amazing. I'm Korg.
So yeah, I
I
think
can,
we're
I
I
can
think
see
we're
that
pumped for
happening.
the Waititi film for sure. We don't know a lot about it, but like you said, Celebration might reveal some things. I don't think we'll get a
Yeah.
trailer, but
Yeah, I don't think there's enough.
maybe
Or that we
maybe
could just get.
an official announcement.
All right, we could just get sidelined and have this full trailer come out with the release date, and it's not gonna happen. But just imagine,
Next
just
year's Celebration, maybe.
imagine. Yeah, definitely. This is the first celebration since 2019. It's weird to think about because we've had The Mandalorian, like that whole show's existence has lived in between this celebration and last celebration. So
Right.
it's insane to think about. We've had
Yeah,
this whole
2020
show.
was about 6 weeks after COVID, maybe two
Hmm.
months. Last year, I thought that they would have it, but it's normally in California. They're a little bit more strict
They didn't have it in
COVID
2020, did they?
COVID policies. No, they haven't had the last 2 years. So
Yeah, yeah,
this is gonna be a big deal.
yeah.
They found ways to drive engagement. Obviously, Celebration, a very small amount of people actually go.
Hmm.
So they're primarily focused on online stuff, anyways. But um, with Celebration, they're gonna be able to drive the like, what was it, 2019 when the Rise of Skywalker trailer,
With the
that was
Emperor's
like
laugh at the
the
end. Yeah,
big, yeah, everyone went nuts.
I remember that. People were
Um,
crying. It was insane.
yeah, so hopefully we get something like that. I'm really excited for it. That's next Thursday, I believe, is Celebration, or
Yeah,
is it
so
Wednesday?
Thursday. So the kickoff is Thursday. We have that huge kickoff celebration, kind of going over everything on Thursday, I believe. We'll probably get some big news from that, but they're probably going to withhold a lot of big stuff until the weekend closes, Saturday, Sunday. So I will try my best to cover everything. Thursday, I will try to cover the news. Friday, I have all day. I have the day off. I will try to get as much news out on the channel as possible. Same thing as Saturday. I got the day off. So I will try to cover in post reactions to the news. Sunday's going to be a little bit complicated because I believe the closing ceremony is going to be during your rehearsal.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll get some good news. We're gonna get some really good news that day. Either way, so I'm excited to cover all that news. But we can move on to the last piece of news, which, man, oh man, it's so exciting. This isn't a confirmation. It's just it's a confirmation from a renowned leaker. I don't like to put spotlights on leakers on this podcast, but this is so good, I can't pass it up. So the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order is officially called Jedi Survivor, and it's just so cool, man. It's if you played Fallen Order, like you just, the excitement for the sequel is unbearable, and to have like a name drop just gives me hope that there's going to be something huge at Celebration.
Yeah, you know me, I'm not necessarily a video game guy as much as you are, but
Yeah.
um, what I do enjoy and appreciate about the Star Wars video games is the level to which they extend the story.
Hmm.
Um, I I've always appreciated how following a video game, whether you watch like someone play through it on YouTube, or like me, like I don't play the games. So
Yeah.
whether I'm like watching you or someone else play through it on Twitch or whatever, or YouTube, there's a way you can kind of like follow along with the story. And then even if you don't do that, people will make videos about the storyline and whatever, like Cal Kestis. And I think
Mm-hmm.
we both know a lot about that, even though like I haven't really played the
Yeah.
game.
Do you
So
know the story of Cal Kestis?
uh well, I say that I know. Way to freaking call my bluff on the pod.
I didn't even know I was doing that. My bad.
Yeah, I know a bit. I don't know. I kind of know how
Yeah.
Peyton, my one of my
Tell me
friends,
5 fun facts about Cal Kestis right now.
right? He's got a little robot, got a little droid.
That's true. 4
He
more, buddy. You're almost there.
you swim around a little bit in the game.
Yeah. There you go.
No, I don't. His your best friend dies. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
That's 3. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
Jedi. That's 4. His name's
4.
Cal. That's 5.
That's 5. You got it. You know everything about it. You played it. You beat it.
So,
You made
but
it.
anyways, I think well, if you're expanding the movies and the TV shows, like expanding the video games is also important, because you gotta reach more
Definitely.
people. You gotta reach the 13-year-old who, doesn't really care to get
Mm-hmm.
on their parents' Disney Plus and watch every new Bad Batch, but like loves video games. You gotta
That's
reach
true.
that kid. So
It's very true. And
I
the
I think it's
story
a
of
big deal for Star Wars.
definitely, and the story of Cal Kestis, super important. Just a little quick rundown of everything about Jedi Fallen Order to get y'all excited for Kenobi and also the sequel. So Cal Kestis, he's a Jedi Padawan who survived Order 66, and the trauma from that event, he's kind of locked down everything about being a Jedi in his mind. And throughout the game, you have to come over your trauma and relearn your force abilities. So you have to relearn how to force push. You have to relearn how to double jump. You have to relearn how to wield the force in different ways. And I think it's really creative how they do that. But also the main story, you're trying to get this holocron full of names of Jedi children with the Force that the Jedi have kept in this holocron. You're trying to get it away from the Inquisitors. You end up, no, spoiler alert, but if you haven't played it yet, oh well. And I'm explaining the story. At the very end, you fight the second sister, and you win, and then you have to escape Darth Vader, and you end up escaping him just barely, and you decide to destroy the holocron, listing all the names, so the kids are safe in the galaxy. But a big part of that game is the Fortress Inquisitorius, which is going to be featured, it looks like, very prominently in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So I wouldn't put it. It's probably going to be very convoluted already, but it'd be smart to include Cal Kestis in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, because he's already been there, and Obi-Wan might need some tips and heads up. I don't know. It's just a cool way of including video game characters in live action. And even the voice actor for Cal looks exactly like his game model in the game. So it'd be easy to translate him into live action. But yeah,
Well, I
that's the
was gonna say
story.
all that, but I didn't want to overwhelm you
Yeah,
with the story.
definitely.
So I
Definitely,
definitely knew all
definitely.
that for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and didn't say you didn't.
I gotta study up before I come on here sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Now Wikipedia, they followed us. You gotta prove your worth now.
Yes, shout out to Wikipedia. They followed us on Twitter at Kessel Rundown, by the way.
I ran like a little girl around my apartment whenever you texted me that. My feet were just like I was doing like little skips and hops and jumps around my apartment. The squealing. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's dream come true.
Yeah, they're pretty incredible. I love how engaged they are on Twitter. Star Wars too, like the Star Wars main account has been they're
Oh
they
yeah.
must have hired a new PR guy, because the last like 2 months they've been tweeting at everybody that tweets at them.
That is true. That is true. Maybe we'll be lucky and we'll get
The
quote
Star Wars
tweeted.
official account follows us. We've made it.
Yeah, I would cry. That's it. We're done. That's our Star Wars celebration right there.
Yeah.
All right, that
Um
wraps up the news for this week. anything you like to talk about for the rest of the podcast?
A a lot of news for sure.
Yeah.
Dang, that was definitely enough to carry the whole pod. I didn't we kind of coming in, we were like, oh, how much are we gonna be able to break down each thing? And I will say, just back to the John Watts thing. I think I told you last time that we were trying to my fiance and I are trying to find time to watch all the Spider-Man movies, the newer ones,
Hmm.
because more Marvel stuff just keeps coming out, man. It doesn't freaking stop. So
No,
we're
and
trying to catch up.
yeah, a trailer for the new She-Hulk show came out today as well, and I'm just like so overwhelmed by Marvel now. It just didn't even faze me. I don't think I've even watched it yet.
Yeah, yeah. At this point, I don't think anyone's freaking out when She-Hulk trailers come out. It's just like, okay, there's too much going on, bro. But we wanted to watch the new Doctor Strange, but in order to do that, you had to watch Spider-Man movies, and I had only seen Homecoming. She had only seen the first two, like Homecoming,
Hmm.
Far From Home. So why do they all have to be home? Why can't there be different names? I don't know.
It's the Home
Uh,
trilogy.
but because Sony has the exclusive rights, they're not on Disney Plus anymore. As
Hmm.
of like a year ago,
And
maybe,
that's a
I don't know,
pain.
before the release of the new Spider-Man. So we had to go rent them on Apple for like $6 each, um, which kind of sucked. But we watched both those. Um, I did not cry. I just can't be invested as much in Spider-Man as I used to. Like the the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies were like really emotional to me because that was when I was, I think in middle school when those came out. So those were like more formative.
Yeah.
But the Tom Holland, I feel like I'm older than him. I mean, I am. So it just feels weird to like, oh, this high school junior, like I sympathize with him so much. Like it's hard. Like I've just graduated college, so you know what I mean.
I feel that,
Um,
yeah.
so, but they were good. But the reason I bring them up is because the John Watts directed those.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously he's getting his Star Wars assignments now. So,
Yeah, and most recently
I
he was gonna direct the new Fantastic Four, but he stepped down for some reason. Maybe for
that
the Star Wars.
and the Fantastic Four, that would be an interesting book. I would love to read a book about like all the ways Marvel has messed up the Fantastic Four, like movie stuff,
Oh yeah,
because
remember
all the
Fan Four
canceled
Stick?
movies and shows and the terrible new one that they had.
Fan Four Stick, yeah.
Um,
Oh,
yeah,
with Miles
and that,
Teller and Michael B.
yeah,
Jordan. Ooh, that was
yeah,
the worst.
then yeah. So man, that's such a cool story.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I think we're just really excited for what's to come. We've got some other stuff planned for future podcasts, but what just quickly before we go, like out of the new things we listed, not counting Kenobi, so you
Hmm.
got Mando season 3, Ryan Johnson trilogy, John Watts series, Taika Waititi film. We didn't mention Kevin Feige's project,
No,
Ahsoka, Andor, and then the new video game. What
an
out of all
Acolyte.
those, like, and Acolyte? That's right.
Yeah,
Dang, that's so much.
it is a
Those,
lot of A's.
probably over the next like 8 to 10 years, honestly, before all that stuff
Hmm.
comes out. But what do you think you're most excited for out of all of those? Like, give me like a top three.
It's probably gonna surprise you. My number one is Acolyte.
Mm,
My number two is Andor, of course, and my number
okay.
three is Ahsoka.
Okay.
Those are my top threes, all A's.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
you?
I'm gonna disqualify Mando season 3 because I just
Hmm.
like I love that show to the bottom of my heart, and I'm just like it's my show. I'm
Yeah.
so excited for it. I don't even think that qualifies like new Star Wars because it's I don't know. It's just it's I that was near the beginning of my time dating the woman who's about to be my wife. Uh,
Hmm.
when it came out, and we got to bond a lot watching the season 1, and I got to like she wasn't into Star Wars really at all, so that was kind of like her introduction into it. And then we watched the movies, and then it's just been a really nice connector. So I'm really excited for Mandalorian season 3. But out of all the new stuff, um, honestly, I'm pumped for Ahsoka. Um,
Oh yeah.
I think I think the whole search for Ezra and the deal with Grand Admiral Thrawn. Like Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka has been incredible so far, and I'm excited to get a whole show out of that.
Hmm.
Um, and then I think Andor, just because it's coming sooner than Acolyte.
True.
Um, so I think Acolyte would be my third, just because I love the High Republic era, and we don't really know a lot about it.
Hmm.
So that I think we have the same three, just different order. But um,
Would you like to
Andor
play?
is like I literally feel like I know nothing about it.
I'm
Even
so
with all
excited.
your wise teachings to me about what it's going to be about, I have no idea. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I've seen people that kind of like, why are we getting an Andor series? Like, we know his death already. Well, we can say the same thing for Kenobi. We're getting a series about him. We know how he ends up. But it's the story in between. It's the how a character gets to where they get to. And as we're going to see, season 1 is going to be probably I wouldn't be surprised to see Saw Gerrera in this show. Just how much, yeah, Borgullet, fear the Borgullet. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in this show. Kind of show the dark side of the rebellion, which is a funny word, but a funny word to
that'd
say
be
that. But even in Rogue One, he says he's done terrible things for the rebellion, and we'll see it in this show. That's what I'm excited about.
man.
The dirty
There's
side of
so
all of this.
right, yeah. There's so many unexplored corners of the world of the universe of Star Wars. Like so many unexplored
Hmm.
ideas. Like every rebellion has its dark side. Every good political movement has
They
the
win for a
underbelly that you don't
reason.
want to know
Yeah,
about, right?
yeah.
And yeah, you win for a reason.
Yeah,
There's
they
you
won
don't
somehow.
topple an empire without getting your hands dirty. So man, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it's oh man, and it's close too, into summer. And
Yep.
that gives me like, when are we gonna get the Bad Batch? Probably
I don't
sooner
know.
rather than later.
Yeah, maybe it'll be like a beginning of the school year kind of thing.
You know, it'd be
September.
crazy if they drop it like right after Obi-Wan. That'd be a good fit. I would think.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that would fit right in
dry
between
dry
Obi-Wan
July.
and yeah, and most of August, and then late summer would be September.
So if we think Obi-Wan's 8 episodes, first two come out May 27th, and then one per week after that would take us
Hmm.
into early July probably. So
It could
or
work.
mid-July. So
It could work because they can double up some episodes on Bad Batch if they need to. Like
oh,
it's
for
like a
sure. That's
two-part
what they did
premiere,
last time.
two-part
Yeah.
finale. Yeah, yeah. I'm excited. But before we close, I saw this thing on Twitter. I just needed to say because it warms my heart. This is a quote from Hayden Christensen, who of course plays Anakin Skywalker, about his reaction to being cast as Anakin Skywalker for Episode 2. So here it is. I'm gonna lie and say it did make me tear up. It did make me tear up just a little bit. So here we go. It says, when I got a call saying that I got the part, I was still in bed, actually in my apartment in Vancouver at the time. I recall walking out after I got off the phone, just sort of stunned and in disbelief by the news, walking into the living room where my roommate was. He was aware that I was waiting for this call, and he saw my smile and immediately understood that there was good news. My response was, I lit up an imaginary lightsaber. He was a big Star Wars fan too, and he had the soundtrack for Episode 1. He put the Star Wars soundtrack on, and we've had this whole imaginary lightsaber duel around our apartment. So I
That's
can just
great.
imagine Hayden Christensen and his roommate having a lightsaber battle to like duel the fates or something. Just an imaginary one. Like that's so cool because I used to do that as a kid, and to see like Anakin Skywalker doing that, it's awesome.
Used to. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a lightsaber right next to me that sometimes I swing around when I'm bored.
Oh, every time we were in Grace and I were at Bed Bath and Beyond. I want to say like I don't know, probably a month or two ago, and I just have this habit of picking up if I find like a cylindrical object that's like arm's length, I'll just twirl it around like it's a lightsaber, um, and it's just so fun. And I picked up like a literal like curtain rod, and was like it was shortened, it wasn't extended all the way, but I picked it up and I was like. Bzz, bzz, like in the store, like I'm literally 22 years old, like twirling around like a like a child. Like, and I just gave her this look. I was like, wow, wow. And she was like, what's wrong with you?
Nothing is wrong.
Nothing's wrong with me. I'm actually really good at this. Watch. Yeah.
This is the third form.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even know all that stuff. I'm gonna have to study that. But
yeah, I don't either. All I know is that Mace Windu made up his own form, and for that, I think he's arrogant.
Amen. Whatever fits our anti-Windu agenda.
In Mace Windu, we distrust.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we need to make some
All right,
merch,
man.
some posters.
Oh, we'd
Mace.
sell out for sure.
Oh,
Tens
definitely.
of shirts.
I'd buy all of them.
Yeah. All right, man. We better wrap it up. We've covered so much news, and we're super excited. Super excited about what's to come with Star Wars this summer. Kenobi and/or Bad Batch just in the next 3 or 4 months. And Ahsoka and Mandalorian season 3 to come.
True.
So let's get this show on the road. Kenobi, 10 days.
10 days, and the next podcast we're gonna have is gonna be on the cusp of Kenobi and Celebration. So who knows what kind of news is gonna be released then?
Yep.
I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited. But we're gonna have to end it for today. So thank y'all so much for listening to the Kessel Rundown Podcast. And until next time, may the Force be with you.